A father and son in Tamil Nadu's Thoothukudi district were taken into custody for keeping their shop open beyond the stipulated time. What happened after that has left the nation entirely shocked. From celebrities to politicians, everyone has come out to voice their anger against the state police. Why exactly is that? Well, it's because these two, the father and son, were allegedly tortured and killed in police custody. They were taken to a hospital after they complained of having breathlessness and several problems and died while in hospital. Eyewitnesses say that they were tortured by the cops, and that's going to be our focus over the next half hour. First, a detailed report on all the latest. Days after the alleged custodial death of a father and son duo in Tamil Nadu's Thoothukudi, the jail hospital has confirmed torture. The report on Fenix and Jayaram deaths submitted by the jail hospital says there were multiple injury marks in the gluteal region or around the rectum. The doctor also mentions their kneecap were pressed.
அப்புறமா நான் தெரிஞ்சு அங்கங்க தெரிஞ்சுதான் போய் பார்த்தா அதுக்குள்ள போலீஸ் ஸ்டேஷனை பூட்டி போட்டு என் பிள்ளையெல்லாம் போட்டு அடிச்சு நடந்தது இல்லை. அடின்னு அடிச்சிருக்காங்க. என் பிள்ளை அலறு அம்மா அம்மான்னு அலறு சத்தம் அந்த தெரு பிள்ளை கேட்டிருக்கு. அவ்வளோ அலறு
போனா அப்பாவை அடிச்ச உடனே இவன் கொஞ்சம் அப்பாவை அடிக்கும்போது அவனே கொஞ்சம் எமோஷனல் ஆயிட்டான். இவனும் உள்ள போயிட்டான். அப்பா போலீஸை தடுத்திருக்கான். உடனே ரெண்டு பேரையும் கதவை பூட்டிட்டு அடிக்க ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. அவன் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் உள்ள போயிருக்கானுங்க. எல்லாரையும் வெளியே துரத்திட்டாங்க. எல்லாரும் வெளியே நின்றுருக்காங்க.
The magistrate is capable. The magistrate has equally done this to gross evidence in a matter relating to the murder of two persons. This is a serious allegation I am making with full responsibility of what I am saying.
The latest medical report has fanned outrage across the state. Leading the charge, DMK President M.K. Stalin has said if the state government fails to conduct a proper investigation into the alleged custodial deaths, his party would approach the court seeking a CBI probe. Party MP from Thoothukudi, Kanimuri, has questioned why no arrests have been made so far.
What is very worrisome is the fact that the culprits are yet to be booked. Yes, they are yet to be booked for any offence of murder. The Tamil Nadu government is shielding the culprits.
Many celebrities, including Vishal and actor-politician Khushbu Sundar, have voiced their anger on Twitter. Chief Minister Edappadi Palaniswamy has promised a detailed probe. The Madras High Court has already directed the Thoothukudi Chief Magistrate to conduct an inquiry and submit a report.
Opposition party has said that if necessary action is not taken, then they will approach the CBI for investigation. Well, the story has got all the necessary political attention. But the bigger question is, will Jayaram and Fenix be forgotten soon after the camera lenses focus on another story, or will the family get the desired justice? With camera person Daniel from Chennai, this is Akshay Nath for India Today. Let's take this across to our guests who are joining us on this broadcast. We've got Mr. Saravanan of the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam. We've also got Mr. Karunanidhi, who is the Deputy Commissioner of the Police. So he served with the Tamil Nadu Police. Mr. Karunanidhi, good evening. I'd like to come to you first. At this point, there's a deficit of trust between the people and the police force after what's happened in Thoothukudi. And it's not the first time, unfortunately, that we're having to speak about police brutalities in the state. Is there a reason that there is no accountability or seemingly a lack of accountability within the police force?
See, it is a very bad incident. It is nobody will support them because there is no reason for either the government or the government officials to support this incident. Everybody knows that. These two officers, they have behaved in a bad manner. The excess is there. So definitely they will be punished. Action will be taken against them.
But the action, sir, the action that's been taken right now is suspension of two cops and the transfer of three others. That's not enough.
It is not an action. It is a initial action. It is temporary only. It is not a permanent action. It is not an ultimate action. It is first step of the action initiated. That is suspension. After that, to make him available for the inquiry, further inquiry. he must, presence should be secured whenever it is required. His presence should be secured. That is why they were placed under suspension, and some officers have been transferred and asked them to wait for in a particular place.
The problem, Mr. Karunanidhi, the problem is that there seems to be now an image that there is an attempt within the police department, the police force, to try and hush this up. Essentially because there are such incidents that have come to light in the past also in Tamil Nadu when no action has been taken. It's almost an accepted norm to go ahead and beat up the accused in custody.
No. This is entirely a different issue. There are custody death in some times because of the negligence. Some suicidal occurrence will take place.
It's not a different issue, sir. It's just that it's reached another extreme in this circumstance. But it's not a different issue. Custodial torture is custodial torture, whether it's one extreme or the other.
Custodial torture is different. Some due to negligence of the police officer, some suicide is different. In that case, they may try to support. That also, they what disciplinary action will be there. But in that case, please let me allow. Let me tell.
Go ahead.
I understand your question. I have to explain. This is a completely different case. Here, nobody will support them. Everybody knows that that person's concerned. The two sub-inspectors, they acted on their own accord. They disobeyed the order of the government that nobody should be brought to the police station because the present situation, the social distancing is to be maintained. That is why even in important case, the arrest is not at all pressed. In that case, mere violation under section 188 is not a serious case. Sub-inspector should not bring them to the police station.
My question. Yes, all those lapses have to be looked into, Mr. Karunanidhi. I'm asking you a larger question. You know, a few months back, I don't know if you remember, but there were people who were taken into custody. There were college boys also in Chennai who were taken into custody who had injury marks after being released. And what was the excuse put up by the police? That they slipped in the bathroom. All of them slipped in the bathroom. It's as blatant as that you normalize custodial torture. Beating up an accused in custody is simply not allowed, whether it is in this case of Jayaram and Fenix dying because of it or others being injured also.
Each case has its own facts. You cannot compare this one with that one. Each case, I am telling, there are 1,827 police stations in Tamil Nadu. In all the police stations, things are going on well. Here and there is sporadic incident because of the inefficiency, because of the inappropriate action taken by the police. You cannot generalize. The entire police force is doing this kind of atrocities. We have the training itself. We are giving the training. The custodial death is the supreme punishment, the supreme fault on the part of the police officer. Whenever there is a custodial death, it will be looked very seriously. Each and every time we are giving in the instructions that the bringing persons to be brought to the police station should be properly checked and properly.
But the protocol, the reality is that, Mr. Karunanidhi, all protocol has been breached in this circumstance. Let me take this across to Mr. Saravanan. Mr. Saravanan, the DMK has demanded that there be a CBI investigation. Do you feel that there is no faith right now in the government, that they cannot ensure that there is a thorough and fair inquiry?
See, when we speak about the faith in the Tamil Nadu government, we should look into what the Tamil Nadu government has done in the last 8 days. It's been 8 days, and as you have pointed out, there has been no FIR. See, it's a murder. It's a cold-blooded murder. There can be no two views about that, and they have been brutalized, the likes of which we have never ever seen in the history of the state of Tamil Nadu. So what is the government doing? They have not registered an FIR. And apart from that, what does the Chief Minister do?
No,
he goes on record and says...
That allegation is wrong.
Sir, who are you, sir? Why are you defending the Chief Minister? Who are you there to speak about the Chief Minister?
Two FIRs are there. Only
is it for 302?
No, 1 second.
Is there FIR for 302?
Must be done.
Is there FIR for
302? The section should be altered. After getting the report, the section should be altered. That's all.
Don't get excited, sir. Don't get excited. Don't get excited.
No, not excited.
Don't get excited. No. Allow me to speak. I didn't interfere when you were speaking.
No need of excitement. But because
allow me to speak.
1 second, Mr. Karunanidhi. Mr. Karunanidhi, just hold on. Let Mr. Saravanan speak first. Yes, go ahead.
so
Saravanan, make your point.
He is
Yes.
giving a wrong
So you were
information.
asking-
There is no FIR. That is what I am telling.
Okay, so there are
FIR
two
is there.
FIRs, but the question is about whether a
There
murder
is an
charge,
FIR.
whether a murder charge has been filed.
It
Are
will
these
change.
cops behind bars? And they're not. They're not behind bars, Mr. Karnanidhi.
There is no-
They've
there
been
is no
suspended,
need
and
of-
that's all. They've been suspended for
Definitely.
cold-blooded murder. As simple as that. Mr. Saravanan, complete your point.
Definitely,
Yes.
they definitely
Yeah,
done.
yeah. See, why the pertinent question is why there is no faith in the Tamil Nadu government? Because the chief minister goes on record and says these two persons were dead, one because of breathlessness and the other one because of medical conditions. When the chief minister goes on record and puts spokes on the investigation, how did he come to know about the cause of the death when the postmortem is pending and the investigation into the cause of the death is pending? So what gave the chief minister to do that? When the chief minister says that how can we expect a fair investigation? The police department is under the control of the chief minister. And why no arrest? You have been asking that. Everybody is asking that. Why are they holy cows? Why should they be protected? See, we have great respect. This is not about TN police versus the rest of us. This is about two rotten apples in the system. And furthermore, people who are involved in the cover-up of the crime. Why no action against them? Why is the Tamil Nadu government covering up for them? This is not reflecting on the TN police. We have seen the best and worst of them during this lockdown. We have seen them on the forefront, courageously, without worried about their life. They have been serving the people. On the other side, there is a continuous this brutality, this attacks on common man. This is the two sides of the Tamil Nadu police we have seen. When it has been pointed out
Saravanan,
that somebody has committed the crime.
Let me
Why
take
no
that
action?
question. Let me take that question to the AIADMK. Kovai Satyan has just joined us. Kovai, thank you for speaking to us on India Today. You know, the sentiment on the ground is that there's no faith now in the Tamil Nadu government because, as Saravanan also pointed out, 8 days on, there's no action. And this is something that should be, you know, on the priority of the Tamil Nadu government, should be referred to as a rarest of rare circumstance where the government immediately steps in and acts.
Certain narratives are being fixed by the opposition, which they want to drive amongst the minds of the public. And these so-called narratives of people have lost faith in the government, these are all political narratives. But if you really look at the crux of the matter, on 24th itself, 2 FIRs are being filed. And the first step of suspending the policeman itself is an admission that the things have not gone in the right direction. The duty of an elected government is to ensure that there is transparent governance, and whoever has taken law into their hands, they should be punished. So it is not something instantaneous. Saravanan might may in emotions say that they have to be hanged, but law doesn't work that way. It's not about not underestimating the emotions or sentiments.
To register an FIR under 302.
Saravanan, let me complete.
That is the minimum. That is the minimum we expect.
Anyways,
We don't want them hanged. That is not our culture.
Saravanan, have the courtesy. I didn't interfere when you are talking. I hope I expect the same from you on a national channel.
No, Kovai, go
well,
ahead.
Your friends have already done the media. They are doing a media trial on their own, and they are preparing their own post-mortem narrative. They are preparing their own agendas, how this has to be inflicted into the minds of the people to make it as a political momentum. While the CM is pretty much clear that justice has to be rendered to the aggrieved family who had lost the breadwinners.
So, Kovai, if I'm glad that the Chief Minister has spoken out and he said we'll ensure justice. I'm glad he said that. But these words should also translate into action. You're saying that we will ensure justice for the family. The family is saying slap murder charge. So what are we waiting for? 2 FIRs have been filed and that's led to a mere suspension. We should be talking about serious charges being filed against these 2 cops. And a lot more if you ask me, because we're talking about a judicial magistrate who just looked the other way while these men were bleeding.
So let me ask you this question. Since the court has taken this into suo motu cognizance, should we wait for the inquiry to be completed, or should there be an unilateral
okay, so you're putting this question to me. I'm going to ask you also. You've said 2 FIRs have been filed. On what basis were these 2 FIRs filed?
No, my question is, should there be a weightage given to the suo motu cognizance taken by the court?
No, I understand your question. I understand your question, sir.
Akshita, can I reply to that?
Yes, Saravanan, go ahead.
Can I reply to that?
Saravanan, go ahead. Yes.
See, they want to hide behind the cloak of the case pending before the Madurai High Court. That is not going to give them any cloak to hide, because a judicial inquiry and a police investigation are 2 different aspects. They are hiding behind a magisterial inquiry and the fact that the Madurai High Court has taken cognizance. that does not say that you don't take action. They say we'll monitor. We'll also have a parallel inquiry. This magisterial inquiry is a parallel inquiry into the police investigation that has been mandated by the law. Just because the magisterial inquiry is there, it doesn't preclude a charge under 302. There can be, sir. You go read the law. Don't teach me law.
Are saying that he will go for a CBI inquiry and he doesn't believe the police of the state. You as a spokesperson of the party say here that there has to be a parallel inquiry wherein your leader who sits comfortably inside an AC cabin sends out a message that we don't believe with the police of Tamil Nadu government, there has to be a CBI inquiry. If required, we'll press for the same. Why you people are contradicting your own statements?
Nobody is contradicting anything. Nobody is contradicting anything here. No. Wait, just a minute. You don't have the courage. Why are you? The problem here is this. The problem here is this. The Tamil Nadu government and the chief minister wants to save the culprits. That is why there is no charge under section 302.
There is no reason for the charges.
Speaking as though the chief minister is on the road sweating every day, as though he does not have an AC room and he is sitting on this thing.
I understand that you want to gain political mileage and you want to create a movie out of it.
No, you take action. If you take action, where is the political mileage here? Why are you not taking action? The question is, why are you not taking action?
One second.
There is no reply to that. There is no reply to the
One second. Let me just put this. Kovai, is the government helpless? Are you saying the government is helpless right now? That, you know, the government is just watching, has to just wait and watch right now and the government can do nothing?
Inquiry underway. Madam, please listen. There is a judicial inquiry underway. 2 FIRs are being filed. When the judicial magistrate inquiry is underway on a custodial death, who you are calling it as a custodial death, if at all, if it were to be a custodial death, which is taken into consideration, it has happened in the prison or in the hospital, because of somebody has taken law into their hand, don't we have the patience to wait for the inquiry to get over so that the right charges are being framed and the justice is rendered? Just because we are out in the open and creating a narrative saying that they have to be behind the bars, do the justice end there? The justice, just by arresting the policeman and putting behind the bars, do you mean to say that justice is rendered?
No, but that's the step. That's the first step. No, that's the first step. So my question to you is very simple. Yes, Sarvanan.
Yeah, see, it's very comical that Mr. Satyan is coming and talking about not arresting the people and waiting for the judicial process. This is the same police force which came and arrested one of our MPs in the middle of the night. Why? Because he spoke something 3 months earlier. And now they come and give lectures on us about judicial propriety, judicial inquiry, magisterial. It's really comical. And let us not forget the fact that 302 charge has to be slapped and they have to be arrested immediately. That is the minimum thing. That is the minimum. Tell me in Tamil Nadu, how many cases under section 302 the culprits have not been arrested? Do you know anything about that? Do you know anything about that? Is there any case in Tamil Nadu where the culprits who have committed murder have gone scot-free for 1 week after the offense has been committed?
Are you the investigating officer, Mr. Saravanan? Or is your leader the investigating officer?
You are seeing the investigating officer to leak out, to give press conferences about the mode of death? Is your leader, is the chief minister the investigating officer? Does he have access to the post-mortem report? How can you say that these people died of breathlessness?
You are only fantasizing. You are trying to get a narrative.
One second, my question to you, and no, one second. Kovai and Saravanan, just hold on. Because Kovai, you've said that the government is doing everything, that at this point we have to wait for inquiry. I want to understand from Mr. Karunanidhi, has protocol been followed here? 2 FIRs have been filed. There's no mention of a murder charge, and we all know that there are allegations here of torture. There's allegation that these 2 men faced barbarism really while in custody. So when 2 FIRs are filed, that leads to just the mere suspension of cops. Is that the right action that's been taken, or has protocol not been followed here?
So repeatedly I am telling, after getting the magistrate's report, the section will be altered. In both the FIR, the section of the offence should be altered as 302, and then we go for arrest. It is a routine thing, it is a procedure, it is a legal requirement. We cannot jump the gun. If you go against the procedure, it will affect the case. Investigation, we cannot fix up the time. Everything, step by step, we may have to do it. Because of the pressure from outside, if you have done anything in advance, it will affect the case. On what basis you made the arrest?
Okay, Saravanan, you have a counter.
Please let me tell.
I want to clarify that.
Repeatedly, they are telling.
Mr. Karnanidhi, just hold on. Saravanan, go ahead.
Yeah, you are making me to hold, but you are allowing.
No, I will give you time. I'll give you time. I promise I'll give you time. I promise, Mr. Karnanidhi. Mr. Karnanidhi, I promise I will give you time. Just let Saravanan make his counter.
Saravanan is given more time. But you are not allowing me to answer that question.
No, I will come to you. I will come to you again. I just have to quickly go to him. He has a counter to what you said. That's why I'm going to give you an opportunity after that.
That's not a counter, ma'am. That's spinning stories, spinning narratives. Which can show
they are bringing allegations against CM. I have to tell the thing.
I need 30 seconds.
Mr. Sarvan, go ahead.
Yes. See, this is the narrative, a false narrative that is being put. That is why I said they are trying to hide behind this fiction of a magisterial inquiry. I'm going to quote the law. When any person dies while in the police custody or when the cases of the nature that has been referred in section 174, the nearest magistrate empowered to hold inquest and shall any other case mentioned, any magistrate so empowered may hold an inquiry into the cause of death either instead or in addition to the investigation held by the police. The law is very clear.
Okay.
Both are parallel. But here they want to circumvent, they want to obfuscate.
Okay, so the DLK, Saravanan, you are saying that the government is not doing enough. I've completely run out of time. I have 30 seconds and I have promised Mr. Karnanidhi I'll give you time. So Mr. Karnanidhi, quickly, if you can give me your answer so I can take final comments also from Kove Satyan.
Sir, repeatedly they have been telling the Chief Minister has given that the death due to asphyxia and cardiac arrest. Asphyxial and cardiac arrest is the medical term which will be taken for even for homicide and natural death. The asphyxial death may be for natural cause also and homicidal also.
And yet, Mr. Karnanidhi, if that is the case, if it is a medical term.
It is a medical term.
No, but it's a medical term, I agree. But if this was a case outside where someone had died of asphyxiation, the accused would be behind bars. They wouldn't be suspended or, you know, you won't see some cosmetic action. That is my question.
That is what I am coming to say. We are not going to shield the person. Shield the offenders. We are not going to shield.
Before I wrap this up, Kove, I want to know from you what is the government stand here, because there is so much of anger and there are a lot of questions where people are asking if the government is simply not serious enough about, you know, acting here and ensuring this justice for the family. What is your message to all those people who have questions for the government?
Chief Minister understands the sentiments of the people and he has committed that the justice will be rendered. Unlike our opposition who wants to fuel the fire and stating and roping in celebrities and giving them a written narrative to speak out in the open, they want to just cash in on this emotion, that's all. But the law doesn't work that way. Going by the statement made by Mr. Saravanan, if he understands English, he himself mentions that the judicial magistrate, there is an inquiry underway with the judicial magistrate. Once the inquiry is concluded is where you can take a corrective action.
No, you're wrong.
No, it's not. No, Saravanan, you had your time. Whatever you say, I need not say that. No, you are
wrong. Don't try. This is the law. You can't say a different law. You can't go to a different thing and say this is the law.
Okay, I have completely run out of time.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.